Bally's Scared Stiff, the second of the Elvira trilogy. This game is intense. I love this game a lot. Especially the most obvious thing is this giant left ramp that curves all the way around, snakes all the way down into your right in lane, but it's covered by all these bones. So I'm going to show you how the PinSnake can tackle that in sections. You have your left orbit that goes around to the rollover lanes in the back here behind the spider. You have the trunk here, which opens up. The right mid orbit here. Well, it's kind of like the right orbit because there is no real right orbit shot. That comes around here, goes back into the rollover lanes. Shooter lane, which kind of comes up through this giant wire gate. It goes right into the the scoop. And you have your right ramp, comes up and around, feeds down, and comes on this snake path, which is open, so it's pretty easy to get to with the snake. And then of course the in lanes, out lanes, and whatnot. But it's an old Bally's game. There's a lot of gates going on. It's a 90s game, so take your time with it, and I'll show you how to get through it. Okay, let's start with the obvious, the skull ramp, or the snake skeleton ramp. I'm gonna start from the bottom in this ramp here, come up, just clean as much as I can here first before I go any further. Now, there's a piece of plastic way up here on the top. Just reach over here. There's a piece of plastic way over here. So I'm just gonna kind of feed the snake right through here, up to there. And then I'm gonna push down a little bit on the head. I can actually reach through the bones and get it right past there. And clean that area a bit. That's as far as I want to go, because now, how am I going to get through all this with all these bones in the way? Well, if you notice the way the bones clip on, so you can pop them off and clean it. But the idea is that you don't want to really take the thing apart to clean it. So, there's an opening right where this turn is, where I can actually just guide the snake down into the ramp through the opening. Keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm just gently pushing him in there. And look, I made it all the way to that plastic piece where I stopped before. There's not much wiggle room, but there's enough for me to clean it. All right, can you get under the plastic and go a little further with it? And I'm slowly gonna bring him out. Now, coming from this end, this is where it kind of bends weird. 9 degrees, 9 degrees, 9 degrees. I'm gonna try to attack it through here. Going to that same opening in that turn. Slowly feed the snake, and I'm just gonna guide him like this. See, I don't have to go too far. You can just kind of guide him through, but that's enough. I can get through there. See, that section of the ramp. I just finished here, so now I'm going to continue. I'm going to come in from this part, right at the opening at the bottom, and guide the snake through. And again, you can reach through the bones, just slowly push the snake around. Now there's a wire here. This prevents the ball from flying out, so you just want to be a little careful there. You don't want to push too hard. Just enough to kind of get to that wire. Push down a little bit, reach the bones. Give a little pressure and slide it out. Now for that last part, you can come in from this way as well, or you can just reach in, because there's a lot going on here and I don't want to mess with it too much. Okay, the right ramp, and come around underneath the skull, the skeleton, and got it in here. Now it's all open, so I can just hold down here and just push, clean this area. And then I'm going to come in through the top and bring it around. And you see, it's just open here because it drops right into the rollover shoots. So now there's an opening right here, right behind that spider mod. So I'm going to feed the snake through the top of the ramp here. And you can see the ball will either, with enough momentum, will continue and curve around, or it'll drop down into the rollovers. So when you're putting the snake through here, if you're not careful, you'll end up not getting through because it'll want to go down. So you might have to guide it a little bit just by holding the bottom of it and just pushing through it like that. And then of course you can continue right where you left off here. Just clean that area too, right underneath the skeleton. And then the rest of the ramp is all open, so there's no reason to sneak it through. Okay, for the left orbit shot, which goes underneath this plastic, goes all the way around behind the skeletons into the rollover lanes. Very simple, just slide it all the way through and get right up there. Now there's a gate all the way in the back there. There's a gate right there at the top. So you're gonna be very cautious, you don't go past it. Just knock at the door. Okay, for the pop bumper area, you can get in through here. This is covered by plastic here, covered by plastic here, so it's almost impossible. And you'll find that in a lot of older games, the pop bumper areas that are covered get the dirtiest because you just can't get to it. So you can start from here. There's a pathway right underneath here, which also goes underneath the ramp and comes to this part here. So I'm just gonna kind of feed this through, give it a little push around the pop bumper, feed it up. There we go. This part's open, so you can clean that with a rag. And kind of get the snake in there and just use the whole body. There's a gate here coming from below. It's gonna hook around underneath the ramp and pop out right here. And I can seesaw underneath all that. Be careful though, there is that gate and it could get caught, so you want to take it slow. It's not a fast seesaw. Okay, for the shooter lane, right in here, just gonna put them right underneath. Now there's a big wire gate right there. See it lifting up. So I'm just gonna go past it. I just cleaned that area before, so it's easier just to do the shooter lane like this, without going past that big wire gate. For the in-lane, out-lane area, all you have is the plastic ramp feeding into the left in-lane, the snake skeleton feeding into the right in-lane, and then the out-lanes are pretty much open. So just to make it easy, I'm gonna take the snake down the bottom, right underneath the ramp here. And since I'm here, I can actually grab these little stand-up targets right here. You can see those. So just push against it. And then the left out lane. Okay, this has the nub. There's a lot of these older games that have this little nub that prevents the kick out. So you don't want to go too far from here. You gotta do it in sections. So push here. And I'm gonna come from the top, underneath the ramp, bring it down. And that's as far as I want to go. On a lot of these older games, you'll see this little nub here where it kind of comes down and hooks around. So you have your kick out coming here, which fires the ball back into the game. And then it kind of prevents it from hitting this and going this way instead. So it's kind of like a little guy. So the snake doesn't play well with this area. So you just got to be coming from both sides. Take it from the top, take it from the bottom. Okay, on the right side, I'm gonna come from the bottom, right underneath this skeleton snake. Just clean there. And I'll do the same with this. It's the same thing, the nub's here as well. So I'm gonna clean just up to it. It's a little wider, so you can get past it, right up to the difficulty post. And that's pretty much it for Bally's Scared Stiff, starring Elvira. It's an amazing game. If you play the Elvira trilogy with Party Monsters, Scared Stiff, and House of Horrors, Scared Stiff is probably one of my favorites.